You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning. Welcome to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM 312-255-8408. You can also get us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. And co-hosting, along Father Greg Sakowitz, the rector of the cathedral, and co-hosting Mark Teresi, executive director of the cathedral. Mark, well, first of all, our producer, engineer, coffee maker, jack of all trade, Michael May in the behind the glass. You're a very busy young man today. So
thank God his chair has wheels on it.
He's flying back and forth. So how are you doing, Mark?
Good. You know, here's a subtle little thing. So yesterday after the dentist, I was going to go get a haircut. I went to 2 or 3 different places. They wouldn't do beards with the COVID. I guess I thought COVID's still with us, and there are precautions that people are taking, but I was kind of surprised by that.
So no trimming or shaving of beards?
No, I guess because of the possibility of...
Okay. I thought that it was over with, and well,
I know you shave your own, so...
Yeah, I never had a beard.
No?
No, never. I had a mustache once when I turned around 40. Lasted about a month, and I said, don't want it.
In college, we did Hamlet. And I grew a beard for that, and I just kept it.
You've had that beard since college?
Yeah.
It's never come off?
No.
So
I hate to know what's underneath it.
You gained a beard and lost your hair.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, 1 out of 2 isn't bad.
Exactly.
And White Sox, well, God bless the White Sox. There's always next year. They gave us a great year, but Houston a better team. But the big game Sunday, Green Bay invades Soldier Field in Chicago. We just can't beat the Packers. We have to change that starting Sunday, but they're about 5-point underdogs.
Field may change things.
The Bears are doing better than people thought, but the Packers are still a tough team. So again, 312-255-8408 here on Catholic Chicago. Tremendous program lined up. Our first guest for the first half hour, back again by popular demand, Dr. Mary Amore, the director of Mayslake Ministries. We'll talk about the latest developments going on at Mayslake. Mary, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
Mark, how's everyone?
Very good,
very
thank
well.
you.
Even on this live stream, you look beautiful and younger every time we see you.
Thank you. You are really.
I'll tell you, without your glasses, it does make you look younger. With your glasses off.
You know, like I said, I have them right here just in case I need them.
Now again, Mary, how many years have you been the director of Mayslake Ministries?
You know, in January, I will be there 15 years.
15 years. And what did you do before this, prior to this ministry?
Before taking over Mayslake as executive director, I was the full-time director of adult faith formation and liturgy at St. Mary of Goston in Downers Grove. Oh. So my background is in liturgical studies, so I loved it. I was there for 14 years, and then when this opening came up at Mayslake, it was a spirit-led moment, really. And we're celebrating our 30th year anniversary this year. So, I've been there half
the time.
Half of the time Mayslake's been in business, yeah.
How do you move from parish to a broader ministry like that? Because parish is so intimate, you love being there, and then all of a sudden now your parish has expanded.
Yeah, we're a parish without borders, really. And it was, I thought it would be a little difficult too, way back when, but it wasn't, stepping into that role. It was really like the walls were able to come down, and I was able to offer programs to not only just our parishioners, that I was used to, but now to people in the Archdiocese, Diocese of Chicago, Rockford, And now with the advent of, media, we have no borders at all. We can minister to anybody in the United States.
You're in the Diocese of Joliet?
Yes.
So let's hear a little comment about your new bishop.
Bishop Ron Hicks.
Bishop Hicks, yes.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Have you met him?
Priest and bishop.
I have not. No, he's just celebrated his first anniversary with us. So he's been busy, and again with COVID, it's really hard.
Yeah.
That's one of the downsizes. Of course, welcoming our new bishop would have been something that everybody would have turned out to do, and now he has to go parish to parish to parish, and so while keeping his duties going. So it's been a busy year for him, but I look forward to meeting him.
Now, Mary, you'll like this story, and that is when I began Niles College Seminary of Loyola University back in September of 1985, along with Mark Teresi, we came together. I happen to be Bishop Ron Hicks' priest formation director. He was an 18-year-old college freshman coming from, I think at that point was Quigley South.
Right.
From Quigley South to Niles College, 18 years old. I'm his dorm director, 18 years old, along with Bishop Bob Casey, who's also in my dorm too. So out of 6 seminarians, 2 of them, Ron Hicks and Bob Casey, who became priests, who then ordained consecrated bishops. And that's going back 37 years ago.
Do you feel you had something to do with that?
36 years ago. No. That would be truly the Spirit. So tell us about the ministry. No, I don't want to take any credit for that, because but Bishop Hicks and Bishop Casey, both wonderful bishops.
They are very wonderful
tremendous
young men.
Absolutely.
And
but Father Greg, I do think you must have had a hand on that somewhere.
I agree.
Leading by example.
Well, I was part of the journey, and very blessed to be able to be part of his journey. As in those days,
I was their dean of students.
He was a teenager.
Yeah,
he came when he was 18 years old as a college freshman, and Mark was the dean of students. That's true. I forgot you were that capacity. So tell us about a big event coming up, Father Rollheiser, on November 6th.
Yes. It seems like, we just had him here last year, and now the time is coming again. So Father Ron, absolutely loves Mayslake Ministries, and so we are so blessed to have him back once again, Saturday, November 6th. This is going to be a virtual conference from 9 until noon, and anybody who wants to register, it's $30, and you can register online at mayslakeministries.org. Father Ron is going to be talking about the church is more domestic than monastic. He has a book similar to that, but, the whole crux of that, and I think this was really put to the test during the pandemic, when our faith was kept alive through the house church, through families, when we couldn't get out and parishes were scrambling to get their masses online, good and faithful families just kept going. And so Father Ron Rollheiser is going to unpack the beauty that God is found in the family, in the home, in what we do each and every single day.
He is a tremendous speaker, writer, very gifted priest. And about how many people are you expecting to register online? Any idea?
What the beauty again is online we have no
limit.
On it. So
you'll get a good
last
number.
Year we had 260 people, and so this year, we're hoping for as many, if not more.
Now, Mary,
there's still time to register.
Was he in person back in 2019?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And in 2020, of course, on live stream, and 2021 live stream.
So when you say live stream, then people can participate, send their questions in that chat?
Yes.
Yeah.
We do ours via Zoom. So that, and Father Ron is very good about taking questions in the chat box or whatever. So, we break it up into different, presentations, and we take a little break. And then he will take questions in between so people can write in the comment box. And we have someone that, if someone is uncomfortable or they don't know how to write a question, we kind of talk them through how to do that. So, But it was last year we had people coming from England and Scotland and Canada. So, he's quite the draw. So the fact that he's right here, obviously being sponsored through an organization in the Chicago area, I would encourage people to register, pour their cup of coffee that morning, and have breakfast with Father Ronald Rollheiser.
And now, for those that are listening on radio and not live stream so you can see the visual, how can someone register?
Okay, they can go to our, 2 ways to register. Go to our website, which is www.mayslakeministries.org.
One more time.
And click right there. Or they can call us at 630-852-9000.
That phone number one more time, Mary.
630-852-9000.
Now, Mary, the ministry is 30 years old. For the most all of those years, it was people coming to the ministry, correct? I'm just curious in terms of the last year and a half, what have you learned in terms of moving from face-to-face to Zoom to a little bit more face-to-face? What are your what have you learned?
What I've learned personally is, and as for Executive Director of Mayslake, is that no matter how bad the world gets, and we got a taste of it last year, and we're trying to get out of it, the human heart seeks God. And, we had to reinvent ourselves. For 30 years, we've had to reinvent ourselves because we began as a male retreat house, the St. Francis Retreat House in Oak Brook. So, for 30 years, we just kind of recreated ourselves to suit the needs and serve the needs of Catholics and Christians today. So, if, we've got programs we're going to be talking about later that I believe are really, really important for people to, as we talk about re-entering into their parish life, we encourage them every week to start coming to the parishes. But I understand that people are still, they're a little fearful, and that's fine because, we can meet people wherever they are on their spiritual journey.
Mary, along those lines, before Mayslake Ministries was Mayslake Ministries, was it a Franciscan seminary?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it was founded by, it was St. Francis Retreat House. Mm-hmm. Father Jonathan Foster was the retreat master at the time the Franciscans had to close the property. People nowadays know it as Peabody Mansion in Oak Brook, but the Peabody Mansion was really the home and headquarters of the St. Francis Retreat House in Oak Brook off of 31st and 83.
Okay. How about this?
In 1991, when the Franciscans sold the property, Father Jonathan founded Mayslake Ministries as a retreat house without walls.
Beautiful.
So we've taken the gospel on the road for 30 years, and it's an honor.
We're going to take a little break at WNDZ 750 AM on your dial, Catholic Chicago 312-255-8408, or you can see us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We're speaking with Dr. Mary Amore, Mayslake Ministries, the Executive Director. When we come back, we're going to talk some more about some wonderful programs that Mayslake is planning for the spiritual. I love your line, the human heart always seeks God. And that's probably a good way to describe your mission, that you're connecting folks' hearts to their journey. We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Do you have an old bicycle that's not being used? Consider donating it to Catholic Charities Veterans Bike Project of Lake County. Skilled volunteers are refurbishing bicycles to make them safe and ready to be used by veterans to get to and from their new places of work. We also gratefully accept financial contributions that are used to purchase bike helmets and other safety accessories. Our veterans have faithfully served the United States, and now it is our privilege to serve them. For more information on the Veterans Bike Project of Lake County, call 847-782-4219. That's 847-782-4219.
In recent weeks, many people have reached out to Catholic Charities to ask what we are doing to help our Afghan brothers and sisters. They also ask how they can join us in our work. Current estimates suggest that 50,000 refugees are headed to our shores in the coming weeks. Based on a decade of experience in refugee resettlement, we predict that it will cost $50,000 to resettle a family of 4 for 6 months. This includes housing, food, clothing, and other urgent needs as they establish new lives in Chicago. As Jesus tells us, "Whatsoever you do for the least of my people, that you do unto me." Please assist us as we welcome the first 10 families. Visit CatholicCharities.net to donate to our special refugee resettlement appeal, or call 312-948-6087.
I feel special. I feel great. I got good grades.
We've seen a huge surge in our kids now meeting or exceeding grade level. Come check us out. You may have never thought we were an option before.
We're back. WNDZ, 750 AM, Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408. Or you can go to youtube.com/Catholic Chicago and see us live with Father Greg Sakowitz here with Mark Teresi, his dutiful assistant, with our special guest, Dr. Mary Amore, who Executive Director at Mayslake Ministries. Mary, let's talk a little bit about Mayslake Ministries and the spiritual direction opportunities that you offer folks.
Thank you, Mark. Mayslake Ministries is really the largest resource for spiritual direction, I would say in the Midwest, but certainly in Chicago. We have 45 spiritual directors on staff, certified in spiritual direction. And, they range in age from 28 to 80. And so they bring this collective wisdom with them, because spiritual direction, at least it's been my experience, is not a cookie cutter ministry like, Father can see everybody. First of all, Father doesn't have enough time in doing his duties at the parish to meet with people. But the thing is that what we try to do is pair a spiritual directee with a spiritual director who has similar life experiences or is really going to understand what they're going through. And it's been very successful.
Now, Mary, along those lines,
really, people call each and every single day, mothers, fathers, single people. you know,
Along those
it's
lines,
just something you can do for your spiritual life that's really something personal, but leads you, to a deeper relationship with Jesus and then to his larger church.
maybe for our listeners, Mary, define spiritual direction. It's a term we've all heard, we can take for granted, but what is your simple definition?
Spiritual direction, first of all, is not counseling. Spiritual direction is just sitting with a director who, many people call God's usher. And basically, it's the spiritual director helps you find the presence of God moving in your life right now, no matter what you're going through, whether you're in really tough times, dark times, happy times, struggling, searching. God is there. He has never abandoned you. What happens is we forget he's with us. And a spiritual director is there to help you through the Holy Spirit find the presence of God at work in your life.
I always
And
talk
when
about
that
it.
connection's made, that's an aha moment. So
I always talk about it in terms of connecting the mystery of God with the mystery of our lives. And also when I listen to somebody saying, okay, in your life, where is God in all this? Where is God in all this as part of your journey now? Because sometimes, here's an interesting thing. When something tragic hits us, it's going to hit us all at one time, a loss of a loved one, the house burns down, we can say, oh God, why me? It's a common question to ask, oh God, why me in times of a hard time, tragedy. When something terrific happens in our life, something fantastic, when was the last time we said, oh God, why me?
Mm-hmm.
Something bad happens, oh God, why me? When something great happens, oh God, why me? We don't say that. We say, well, maybe hopefully we say, thank you, Lord. But we don't say, oh God, why me? Just a little interesting thing about the human thing. So now if someone wants to get involved as a spiritual directee, how can they sign up or learn more about this, Mary?
Okay, Father, they need to call Mayslake Ministries, and our number again is 630-852-9000
And then,
to ask for me, Dr. Mary Amore, and I will talk to them. Everything is held in confidence, and I will try and direct them to the right spiritual director. From then, they meet with the spiritual director either virtually. We've been doing that, for a year and a half, and people are actually quite comfortable with it. We also offer in-person spiritual direction if people are comfortable doing that, wearing a mask. But we're here to help people. And besides spiritual direction, we also do have 2 pastoral licensed counselors on staff. So if someone is in a spiritual direction session and the spiritual director realizes that perhaps they really do need professional counseling, we can literally just walk them down the hallway and so they can see someone, under our umbrella of a Catholic Christian, lens. So.
and I think you also made a very important comment. When someone is with a priest or sister or layperson for spiritual direction, it is held in total confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Great confidentiality with that relationship. Now, moving from kind of dovetailing to another topic, you have 2 parish missions coming up. Tell us about that.
Okay, yes. We, besides spiritual direction, we do offer parish missions. And this year, we kind of took a break from it last year. People were just basically in the survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
But now, they're re-entering. And so we've got one designed, and both of these are offered virtually or in person. And again, a virtual experience of a parish mission can truly touch the hearts of parishioners. So don't think, not because you're in person, it doesn't work. It does. But the first one we're doing is, it's on the Eucharist, because the Eucharist is the core of our Catholic faith. And yet, you know the statistics, so many people, so many Catholics are struggling with the issue of belief in the real presence. When we were shut down, yes, I missed attending Mass, but what I really missed was receiving Jesus in the Eucharist. I mean, my heart was physically yearning for it. And so, what we do in this, it's a 3-night, 3-part Eucharistic mission. And, if you look at the scriptures, Jesus practically ate his way through the gospel, dining with saints and sinners alike. But there's one common denominator to all these meal stories, is that anyone who dined with Jesus either walked away transformed, healed of their sins, and eager to share their experience of Jesus with others. Every time we come to Mass, we too dine with Jesus. But do we walk away any differently? Do we walk away feeling healed of our sins and our sorrows? And do we want to share that experience with others? We've grown so accustomed to going to Mass and that the Eucharist has become more of an object for us than the real presence of Jesus. So this Eucharistic mission is my absolute favorite. The first session we look at Eucharist as an invitation to spiritual transformation, because the Church teaches us that the objects of bread and wine are not the only objects of transformation, but the human heart is as well. And when the Eucharistic prayer opens up, the priest says, "Pray that my sacrifice and yours." Well, what are you bringing to the table of sacrifice? What is it you want to offer to the Lord that you need help in, that you need transformation in? So we look at that. The second session is entitled Pathway to Spiritual Healing. And if we look at scriptures, Jesus died for our sins. Eucharist is first and foremost a sacrament of spiritual healing, because we celebrate on this altar table the once and for all perfect sacrifice of Jesus. So we explore in the second session the ways that we can experience spiritual healing when we come to the Eucharistic table. And the third session it's a renewed call to discipleship, because our mission in life is to become the very mystery that we receive. St. Augustine said, it is our mystery that's placed on this table. It is our mystery that we receive. And in receiving Eucharist, we do become the very presence of Jesus, to go out into the world, to be body broken for others, to pour out our lives in loving service as Jesus did for us. So we really, and each of these talks, whether they're virtual or in person, are done in the context of a prayer service. So it's very prayerful, very relatable, and I take time for questions and everything. But we need to reignite the love and flame and belief for the real presence of Jesus in the Eucharist.
Now
because once we do, no one can keep us away from Jesus. No one.
Now, Mary, we only have 1 minute left here before we go to break to our next guest. Tell us about a brand new book coming out.
Oh, okay. We have a brand new book. It's entitled Every Day with Joseph. It's a companion book to our book, Every Day with Mary. It's a 365-day daily devotional. And, it's written by the affiliates of Mayslake Ministries. And it's just a wonderful way for you to deepen your relationship with this great saint in our Catholic faith, Saint Joseph. He never spoke a word, but his actions speak volumes to us. It's very relatable and very reflective, and so I think people will enjoy it. It comes out right before Christmas. We're taking pre-orders at Mayslake Ministries now. Great Christmas present.
And how can you get a pre-order? The phone number again?
People can call our office at 630-852-9000.
And the website?
Their name and everything.
And the web?
We can get them an autographed copy.
Okay, and how about the website one more time?
The website is www.mayslakeministries.org.
I want to thank in a very special way Dr. Mary Amore, who once again has been a great guest. She is the Executive Director of Mayslake Ministries. Mary, your enthusiasm has not changed since the day you began 15 years ago. So God bless you. Keep it up, and our prayers are with you for all the upcoming events. Stay with us. We had moved to part 2 of the program with Vicki, Quade, creator of Late Night Catechism. You're listening to WNDZ, 750 AM, Catholic Chicago. Father Greg Sakowicz, Mark Teresi, 312-255-8408. Stay with us. Do not touch that dial.
Ancestry and genealogy are more important every day. People all over the world are wanting to learn more about their family heritage for personal and for health reasons. At Catholic Charities, we are hearing from adults who lived for a brief time at St. Vincent's Orphanage, the wonderful life-affirming agency that operated out of our headquarters for 91 years, serving thousands of women, children, and families until it closed in 1972. Our post-adoption services help adults who want to learn more about their experience at St. Vincent's. Our compassionate staff members provide whatever family background information they can offer, along with support and reunion services. To learn more, call 312-655-7093. That's 312-655-7093. The spirit of St. Vincent's lives on in the inspiring stories that continue to emerge today.
Welcome back.
Es fabuloso verlos.
Dobrze jest znowu być razem.
It's good to be together again.
After so many months apart, pandemic capacity limits have been lifted, and we want to welcome everyone back to church. We can all pray together again. And listen as our choirs lift their voices in song.
We've been together in spirit.
And now, when you are ready, our doors are open wide.
Nuestras puertas están abiertas de par en par.
Nasze drzwi są otwarte.
And we're here to welcome you back to Catholic Mass.
The cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago. Ahead, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
We're back, WNDZ 750 AM on your dial, Catholic Chicago. You can see us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. Father Greg, hand it over to you.
Okay, we have with us, back also again by popular demand, Vicki, Quade, creator of Late Night Catechism, comes on the program to have some fun with our hosts, which is us. And Vicki, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, good to see you.
Oh, it's great to see you. You look terrific, Vicki.
Thank you. I didn't wear my mask, but I'm at home.
Oh, you're at
good
home.
for you.
You have been part of this program going back years. And you know, maybe for our listeners, we've all heard of Late Night Catechism. We've heard of you. Late Night Catechism debuted in what year?
1993.
It's been 28 years plus.
Yes, 28 years. Absolutely.
Wow. Now, of course, with the pandemic last year, it closed down for a while, correct?
It did, although I streamed some performances of my shows just so that we could keep the business going. But yeah, we took a break for largely 18 months.
Now, has it reopened again in person?
Yes, it reopened September 10th at the Greenhouse Theater Center in Chicago.
And where's that?
It's on Lincoln Avenue. It's 2257 North Lincoln. So Lincoln near Fullerton.
Oh, beautiful. Any like wonderful memories of the show that kind of stand out for you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, truly, there's something at almost every performance. But I was doing a show. I was doing one of my bingo shows, and I think I've talked about this before, up in Ladysmith, Wisconsin, and it's just a small town. And they brought me up there to do a fundraiser, and it was well attended.
Mm-hmm.
And right near the front, and they had it in the church. Right near the front, like maybe the third pew, was a woman with her child, and the child was maybe 10 years old, and the woman looked pretty tired.
Mm-hmm.
She was maybe somewhere in her 30s, not quite 40. And you could tell she just had a rough time of it. But she was laughing, and the son was laughing. And at intermission, she came up to me and she said, "I want to thank you. This is the first time we have laughed in months." Her husband had been killed.
Wow.
Wow.
He was a truck driver, and he had a heart attack, and he died while he had pulled off, and he died in the cab. And she said, my son and I have just been, living with this, and it's so wonderful to see him laugh. And I thought to myself, if there's a reason why you are brought someplace, that's the reason.
So here is a woman in her
Beautiful.
30s with a 10-year-old boy, and she's a widow and a little boy without a dad.
And that's the mystery of the gift that you have and that you bring to people.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've seen the show many times, but one time at Oakton College there was a benefit. And I remember the nun I forget the question, and anybody here know this? And I raised my hand, and she called on me. And I stood up. She said, "Stand up, young man." And then she said, "Okay, before you answer, take those hands out of your pocket." And I thought, I was back to St. Clement Grammar School. I thought, boy, did she nail that one. But it does... Pardon me?
Did you go to St. Clement's on Orchard and Deming?
Yes. That was my grammar
That's where my kids went.
Really? And I taught there. I taught 5th grade one year there, too.
What year was that, Mark?
1978, somewhere in that neighborhood. I taught my sister. My sister was a 5th grader.
Did you pass her?
Thank God, she was a great student. She talked to me as Mark, my brother, at home, and then I was Mr. T in the classroom.
Mr. T.
Yeah.
That is great. It's interesting, Vicki mentioned, when you have all these audiences night in and night out, you just don't know where people's hearts are.
Right.
Someone's sitting there engaged, someone else divorced, someone else just lost a mother, someone else just had a baby. The ups and downs of life, and no two people in the exact same spot. So now, are you in the process now of writing or creating anything brand new at this time? Because you're always writing, you're always creating.
I'm always writing and creating. Yes, I actually have a new comedy called "Are You Smarter Than Your 8th Grade Nun?" It's a game show. And
what's the answer?
I've done it a couple of times now, and it's really fun.
Now, give us like a question for that then.
Yeah, how
does it go?
Oh, we have a wheel, which is actually in the other room, but it's like it's a wheel, and you spin it. And I have subjects that you would have in 8th grade: history, geography, math, spelling. And then on the wheel is just the word sister. And that means that sister can pick any subject for the question. And then I ask the question, and it could be something simple like a math question, or a history, something really fun about history. And just to have people back you're back in school, and you have to think, what is that?
That is fantastic. Now, when is that going to actually be seen, or when's that going to open?
Yes, I have to figure out when I want to open it. So I've been doing it. I did it at a park district in Dundee, and I did a little snippet of it at the Mercury Theater here in Chicago. But mostly right now we're using it for fundraisers. If people want to have a fundraiser, it's really a fun alternative because it's so interactive.
Now, that is great.
Well, we have to invite you to the Holy Name. We have an auditorium.
Sure.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Now,
that would be fun.
I had a question related to all of this creativity. And is there a religious woman that stands out in your mind that really inspired you? Because your images of the religious are wonderful. You know, they're accurate, but they're heartwarming. They're multidimensional. So, anybody comes to mind?
Totally. Yes. When I was in grade school, I was taught by the Adrian Dominicans.
Oh, sure.
And one nun, Sister James Joseph, that's when they had male names. Sister James Joseph, I just fell in love with her, and we all did. Everyone loved this woman. She was very athletic. So she would get outside when we were on the playground, and she would play with us. She'd kick a ball around. She'd go over where the boys were playing, and she'd say, "Here's a baseball. Let's throw it around." And she just seemed so real. And in the classroom, she was no nonsense, you know. But there was such a warmth about her. And I have to say, I do often think of her and try to generate that combination of being a teacher on stage with that warmth, and then a little bit of humor, and she was just a little different, really. You didn't see a lot of kids out there kicking a ball around.
Now, here's the thing. Along those lines, Mark, that's a great question. I remember my own story. Mary Seat of Wisdom, Park Ridge, starting first grade, Sisters of Mercy, who I dearly loved, and my first grade sister, Sister Mary Joella. So here I am, 7 years old, with Sister Mary Joella. So get out of first grade, go through grammar school. She left after first grade to be reassigned. I saw her many, many, many years later, maybe 15 years ago, when I was pastor at St. Mary of the Woods. And I ran into Sister Mary Joella at some event, and we were talking. And I said, you know, I have to admit, Sister Mary Joella, loved you in first grade, but I thought you were so old. When I was in first grade, you seemed to me to be about 100 because you happened to be a nun. She laughed and said, Greg, when I taught you in first grade, I was 20 years old.
Wow.
I was 20. So the thing about this, I'm 7, she's 20, and here I thought she was 100 because she had the habit on, and she was 13 years older. She had just started in part of the novice or ministry. And I thought, never would have guessed. And she was, all the Sisters of Mercy I had at Mary Seat of Wisdom, one better than the other. So that's a great, how about for you, Mark?
St. Clement, we had the School Sisters of St. Francis, to your point. Wonderful, wonderful women, happy, joyful. I remember fifth grade teachers. In fact, I taught in that fifth grade room. Sister Mary Alice, she looked like Granny Clampett, you know, and I was serving Mass when they changed from the, you know, where they cut the veil, cut the forehead to when you could see their hair. And I was serving Mass, and I looked out, and all of a sudden, all these nuns had those minor veils with the hair coming out, and I was like, oh, my God.
Freaked out.
Who are these people? But Sister Mary Alice, to get back to her real quickly, she was a great teacher. We did diagramming sentences. That was the big thing. And I remember I thought I diagrammed this sentence perfectly, and she put a check mark. I said, Sister, why? I thought I did it correctly. Everything's correct except you don't diagram sentences by writing the word on the line. It has to be above the line. And I thought, oh, my God. I learned technicalities from her. Anyway.
Mark, on that note, take us to break.
Yeah, WNDZ, 750 AM, Catholic Chicago. You can also see us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago. We're with Vicki Quade. When we come back, Vicki, maybe a little bit of your observation of the theater scene in Chicago right now, post-COVID. Well, we're in COVID, but post being closed, we're open. What do you think? We'll be back in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
In recent weeks, many people have reached out to Catholic Charities to ask what we are doing to help our Afghan brothers and sisters. They also ask how they can join us in our work. Current estimates suggest that 50,000 refugees are headed to our shores in the coming weeks. Based on a decade of experience in refugee resettlement, we predict that it will cost $50,000 to resettle a family of 4 for 6 months. This includes housing, food, clothing, and other urgent needs as they establish new lives in Chicago. As Jesus tells us, "Whatsoever you do for the least of my people, that you do unto me." Please assist us as we welcome the first 10 families. Visit CatholicCharities.net to donate to our special refugee resettlement appeal, or call 312-948-6087.
I am a seminarian.
The Church needs compassionate and well-trained priests to help guide each of us through life.
What inspires me, what draws me always to the priesthood is continue to see priests be a beacon of hope for other people.
You can play a part in the education of these young men as they prepare for a life of service to others.
I want to be that beacon of hope too, and it sets my heart on fire.
To support our seminarians, make your gift at archchicago.org/seminarian fund or call 312-534-7959.
We're back. Catholic Chicago, WNDZ, 750 AM on your dial. Father Greg Sakowicz, Mark Teresi here with him. You can see us on youtube.com/Catholic Chicago, 312-255-8408. We're with Vicki, Quade, creator of Late Night Catechism, many other very creative, entertaining programs. And before the break, I said, Vicki, I'd love your take on the theater scene here in Chicago. I don't want to say post-COVID because we're still in it, but the doors are open. I went with a friend to the Goodman to see Las Mariachis. I forget the title, but, COVID card, the vaccination card, ID, had to have the mask. The place was full. We all had masks. And I thought, it felt good to be back. What do you think about what's going on now with the theater scene? At least the doors are opening a little bit.
Right, exactly. Theater was the hardest hit. And remains the hardest hit of the industries in this pandemic. Restaurants could still you could still order food and get it delivered, or you could pick it up. Other industries, you could still shop, you could still go to the grocery store, but the theaters closed down. So it's really heartwarming that after 18 months they are open. But it's really a struggle to get people to feel comfortable enough to come out. And I have to tell you, I'll just use the greenhouse as an example. You have to be vaccinated to get in or show a negative test.
Right.
There's still the mask mandate in the city of Chicago. The theater put in HEPA filters, so it's clean. And yet people still have to feel like it's okay to go out. It's fine. You can distance yourself and you can still laugh. And yes, you have to wear a mask, but it's open. We are open. And you saw American Mariachi.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Now, Vicki,
it's a wonderful play. It's being touted as something that could or should go to Broadway.
I agree.
Which is great. Forever Plaid is running now at the Drury Lane.
Good.
Out in Oak Brook. And I don't know if you've seen Forever Plaid. It's such a classic, wonderful play, musical.
Now, your latest production, if people want to learn more about it, how can they learn more about your latest production? When is the theater open? Weekends?
We are open on weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I know it's the pandemic. I know people have not been working for a while. Even though I'd love people to buy full price tickets, I think you can go on Gold Star and Hot Tix and get a half price ticket. So you can come out, save a little money. Or you can call the theater directly, the box office, and buy a full price ticket.
Do you have that number offhand, Vicki?
773-404-7336.
That number once again.
773-404-7336.
And performances begin at what time?
We're Fridays at 8, Saturdays at 5 and 8, and Sundays at 2 o'clock. So you can go to Mass, you can come and see us, you can go to brunch.
And this show will run through when?
Well, right now we have Holy Ghost Bingo, and that's running to the end of the month.
Okay.
We also have Late Night Catechism on Saturdays at 5 o'clock. That's just an open run. Then in November, we go back to just late night. And then in December, we're going to do Christmas Bingo.
Okay. I have to ask this question. And all the times you've been on the air, I've never asked this question of you. In the years you have been doing production, writing, acting, creating, this ministry, this gift you have received from God, how has it touched your life over the years? I mean, what you've done for over the years has brought that woman and her son. First time we laughed since my husband was killed or died of a heart attack in the truck. So we're always talking about what it's done for others, but the Lord had called you with you being gifted in this way. All these years, Vicki, as you look back on your life, and you're still young, of course, how has it touched your life?
It's given it a purpose beyond just my creativity. I've always been creative ever since I was little. So I was in Baltimore this past weekend, and I did my collection for the nuns who were in the audience. We collected $1,174 for this order of nuns. And they were thrilled. Oh my goodness, they couldn't believe it. And afterwards, Sister Susan came up to me and said, "Thank you for talking about the needs of the sisterhood." And I think when people say, "Why do your shows continue? Why do you continue this work?" I think to myself, because I am making people laugh. I'm bringing people back often to their faith, and it gives me a purpose. It makes me feel like I've got something to offer beyond just making people laugh. Also, I think it shows resilience. I know that sounds weird, but we all go through issues in our lives. And I think getting back to reminding people about their faith and my own faith helps to make you realize that life continues. Life, what you bring to life is important, and how you keep moving forward is important. And I think that's maybe a message for my kids as well, that they see what I've done in my life and what they can do in theirs.
Now, Vicki, you originated the role in Late Night Catechism, correct?
No, I wrote the show.
But did you ever act in it?
I have.
Yeah.
But the original sister is an actress named Mary Pat Donovan.
Okay. Was she at Loyola? Did she go to Loyola, Mary Pat Donovan? It sounds familiar, that name.
Did. She went to Loyola, but she never graduated. They ended up giving her an honorary degree, which was so nice of them to do that.
That is terrific.
And as you look at, I want to make sure people understand, if they, in the parishes, want to book Late Night Catechism or your other programs, how do they do that? How does someone do that?
They would just have to get in touch with my office, or with me directly. But the email is info@nunsforfun.com, and it's NUNS 4 fun.com. .com. It's all one word.
So, so what is it again? One more time for the
it's info.
email.
That's the work email. Info at nuns, NUNS, the number 4 fun.com.
Or how about again a phone number?
The phone number for the office is 773-388-0730.
One more time, Vicki.
773-388-0730.
And maybe one question. In all the years you have been writing, performing, getting feedback, beside that story you shared with the woman coming up to you and saying, first time my son and I have laughed since my husband passed away with a heart attack. Give us another story on the lighter side that maybe you broke up or you just totally lost it on stage.
Yeah, people do things on stage when you bring them up.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it really does kind of make you laugh. So there's a guy who came up on stage in Baltimore just this past weekend during Holy Ghost Bingo, and I had him dressed up as the Day of the Dead. And I said, can you do a skeleton dance? And all of a sudden he did an Elvis Presley impersonation of a Day of the Dead skeleton dance, complete with an Elvis voice. And I just started laughing. I mean, I just thought, oh my goodness, this was so perfect.
Oh my God.
What he brought to it. So, people get into it. They come out when you bring people up on stage. So yeah, that happens a lot where people surprise me. Their creativity and how much they're enjoying it makes me laugh.
So here you're bringing joy to others, and this guy's going crazy and making you laugh.
Yes.
Well, we need to bring the program to a close. Want to thank in a very special way Vicki Quade, creator of Late Night Catechism. And Vicki, your enthusiasm and joy has not changed, and just amazes me after all these years, pandemic included. Here you are doing the work of God, sharing the gift of joy and bringing hope into people's lives, but also connecting again the story of God, the mystery of God with our lives. And so thank you very much for joining us here today. You'll be back on again, and God bless as you keep moving forward. Special thanks to co-host Mark Teresi. Great work of our producer, engineer, coffee maker, jack of all trades, Michael May. Michael did a great job today. To all our listeners, may God bless you. I can't talk about going the White Sox anymore. We'll have to go into next year. But may the Bears beat the Packers this weekend. God bless.
God bless.
Join us every Monday through Friday at this time for Catholic Chicago. You can stream our programs live or listen to past programs by visiting our website, archchicago.org, and clicking on Radio TV. And please connect with Catholic Chicago on social media.